Just having another look at this this generator. That's sealed in, and all it is a cigar lighter socket. Yeah, it's sealed in, you can't unscrew it like those two, and that one isn't sealed in, but difficult to get hold of. And what's that? One of them is a cigar lighter socket, and I think the other's a WSB socket. Well, the thing is, I have operated an electric drill with this. I drilled the car locks on my car because I was locked out of it, and it didn't overload it then. So why is it overloading it now? Actually, I haven't tried to drill it this time, but it won't even power an angle grinder when it isn't even loaded. So presumably it should, because it was powering the electric drill right in through the door locks. So why won't it power an angle grinder? They're about the same voltage and amperage. There's something wrong somewhere, isn't there? Something must have failed. Don't know. Because obviously I've used this with an electric drill in one socket. Don't know. Could be a loose cable somewhere. If it's, yeah, it could be like the car. Yeah, I think the other trouble with the car's been a loose cable on the petrol filler neck. I knew they'd have to have one on there for static purposes, but you wouldn't expect it to knock everything out. But it only earths the filler neck where it fits into the car, right? The rest of it's plastic, but it has a metal surround, which possibly, yeah, earths the vehicle to the ground through the pipe, yeah, but the rubber pipes. Don't know. Well, it won't be earthed through the tyres, but it's earthed the vehicle body. So it must earth the vehicle body to the ground. That must be what it is. And presumably, when that's not connected, the engine management computer shuts everything down just in case you fill the tank, because it won't know when you're filling the tank. Yeah, that'll be it. That's why it's doing it. But why it knocks the back lights out and stuff like that, that doesn't make sense, because obviously it's important there on whether you're in a filler station or not. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. But the reason I had fuel pressure from it. It was not, because the fuel pump was being a bit irrational. But it could have been that when I tried to start the engine, this cable had just gone, and it was making and breaking contact when the engine was turning. It could have been that, because there was fuel pressure. It could have been working before the engine. But yeah, you turn the ignition on, and if you hear the fuel pump starting, it pressurizes the system. Then you turn the engine on, turn the start motor on. The engine will rock about and bounce about. It'll have disconnected it. That must be it. Yeah. That's it, yeah. I bet there's something like that on this somewhere, a loose connection. That's what Dad used to say. He wasn't an electrician. He'd take tellies and bits and stuff like that and have a look in the back, see if he could find a loose wire. He wouldn't touch anything, but I found some bad design on this. I mean, all that lot, there's connections in there. That's the choke, normal and off. Yeah, there's a fuel line to that, and that's the fuel tank. And there's connections all over in there. You only want one spark, because it's not the petrol that explodes, it's the fumes, and that whole thing could go, surely it should have put that at the other end, but the exhaust's at the other end. Why don't they put all the connections, they've run them literally halfway through to here. Why didn't they put everything hot that could cause a spark away from the petrol? Not very well thought out, that at all, is it? Yeah, I mean, there's the engine, there's the generator, there's the exhaust. There's the petrol. Yeah, it's away from the exhaust, but it's not away from if they put all that, what's on the other end? Well, it's a big grill, the tiny exhaust. Yeah, they could have run the wires, could have put a piece of steel between the wires and the exhaust to keep the heat out, or something that would insulate it, because obviously the wiring would melt if you weren't careful. They could have put all that on the side, away from the exhaust and the petrol, couldn't they? Not very well thought out. And I've literally had to take all the bolts out, the whole thing, to get one cover off, because it was just clips, and that's what was holding it. So obviously you have the loose rubber there around the filler neck, and it's the fumes that explode with petrol. Petrol doesn't burn, the fumes burn.